not individual, but combo in Europe. And then when the best, when the highest scoring forward right now in Europe, all of European league comes against them, they hold him off. We say, oh, Gyökeres is not good enough. We can't say that because he's facing the best two, right? So
but
here's
two things can be right. Two things can be right now.
For me, the chances that he got, he spun Saliba one time and hit the crossbar. You remember that?
Okay.
On Saliba, hit the crossbar.
And I like what you say, one time. Just because Gabriel and Saliba are fantastic, that means they will not.
Yeah. I'm saying, but when he got his chance, he came that close to it. He just needed to have done it a couple more times. But then, of course, he's coming against the best of the best. So a striker like him who's not coming up against the Gabriel and Saliba weekly is doing a lot of damage. So if he came to a club like Arsenal, where people are like, we don't want him at Arsenal anymore, I'm like, no, he's not going to be playing against the levels of Gabriel and Saliba week in, week out.
At the same time,
you know,
Premier League are not going to afford him the kind of space he has against the likes of Braga and the other teams in Portugal. We have to put that in perspective. Because I've seen Darwin Nunes look prolific in Portugal. I've seen Gonzalo Ramos look prolific in Portugal and struggle elsewhere. We cannot ignore that part.
Listen, but we've also seen players come from other leagues and come to the Premiership and just rip it apart. I can list over the last few years, multiple players, even players. Fernando Torres is one of them. Mo Salah is another player that came back and in his first year, 17-18, ripped up the whole place. I can list players who have done that. You know, what's his name? That played for Chelsea, N'Golo Kante was one that came and just ripped it up. So we can talk about the failures, but we don't talk about the successes.
But they have to have a balanced conversation. What I'm saying that I am not saying he's not good. I'm just saying when I watch him intentionally and watch how he scores his goals, the Premier League defenders are not going to give you that kind of space to run into. But you can't take away that perspective.
You realize that Sporting Lisbon and Arsenal play very, I won't say similar styles, but play to control the game and have a lot of the ball. Sporting Lisbon's average this season is 69% ball possession. Their average, which means that in some games they get 70, and he's the one who's been scoring the most. Arsenal plays that type of football as well, where we keep the ball, and when we don't have
and I will push back to that. Most Portuguese teams, just like the Spanish team, the mid-table or the lower team, they don't play low blocks like they play in England. We can't agree that part.
If you do go watch most of the teams that have played Sporting Lisbon this season, not last season, at least I have gone and watched about 4 or 5 games. They played low blocks against them. They played a lot of low blocks against them. I've watched at least 5 games. I mean, it's not a lot of data, but
when I say 80% to 90% of his goals, they are transition goals where he's running to space. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. If we play, if you think about this, we have a Martin Odegaard that usually draws 1 or 2 players, 2 defenders to himself. We have a Bukayo Saka that will draw defenders away to create space. We have a Kai Havertz that makes those crazy runs and just draws people away. Martinelli on the wing, he's already drawn away a defender. In those spaces, as a big striker, you throw the ball to him and you know he can shoot.
Yeah, it sounds great academically. It sounds great in theory, but like both of us are arguing, there's no concrete proof that if he comes to England, it's going to repeat. We're just speculating, and I understand those that want him.
I'm just looking at the fundamentals that he has, and I'm saying to myself, can Mikel Arteta work with his fundamentals? I think he can. I've seen him work with Kai Havertz fundamentals. I've seen him take a player who everybody thought was dead, work with the fundamentals, and bring him back to life. I've seen.
But Arteta didn't bring Nketiah to life.
I know, because listen, because here's the thing about it. Not every player will work. What I'm saying is Nketiah, yes, Nketiah is not 6'2", all muscle, can hold up play just like Gyökeres can. He can't. So there's a big difference. Even if you try to bring him, that's why they told him to bulk up. Eddie bulked up and was still not tall enough. So
I think your physical attributes are a plus, but that is not the head on beat for you to strive as a striker.
I know, but I think football has changed in general. Most managers are looking for the big physical athletes that have fundamentals that they can then create
mold them to something.
And mold them something. Because you're looking at the players that most teams are getting. They are looking for the big guys who have the, let me see. He spun Saliba and faced a weak Kiwior. I don't think we have let's not make that excuse about a weak Kiwior. The point is, even if it was Gabriel, let's not make that excuse, and I'll say why. Even if Gabriel, what we're saying is he spun one of the best dual center backs Europe.
But there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that.
I'm not saying there's a shame in that's testament to how good he can be. And then he's going to face the next best center back again if it was Gabriel that was there. The point that he could not score is just testament to how good our defense was. I'm not like when people started dissing him is when I said don't do that. You can't diss Vitor Gyokeres and say.
So what do you mean dissing? Because people think I'm dissing him. I don't diss him. No. I've made a stream regarding him that I don't fancy him, but if the club takes him, I'll support him. But I don't fancy him because I think he's a transition striker, which I don't think Arsenal is a transition team. Arsenal is a possession-based team. I've people say, "Oh, I'm hating. I don't have my standards up."
But Sporting Lisbon is also a possession-based team.
But they do more of transition.
No. Season, I'm saying this season, like last season, they did more of transition, not Amorim. This season, when Amorim started with a lot of more possession. Go look at their stats this season. And I've watched 5 of their games. So I'm talking from what I've seen and the stats. You can't have 69% average ball possession in all the 11 games you've played in the league so far, right now in Portugal, and not be a possession-based team. Your average is 69%.
No, it depends. Sometimes you can have the possession and still be a transition team.
I get that, which is why I said, why can't we play to those strengths if we bring him play differently when we bring him in? He doesn't have to be the guy that starts the game. Kai Havertz can start. Let me tell you, we've had games where we've played this season that I thought, you know what, if we just had somebody else up front, those chances because here's the thing that I don't understand about us about a lot of the fan base. The stats this season say that Bukayo Saka has created the most big chances in the league right now, as of today. Bukayo Saka, the most big chances, and we haven't scored them. We haven't put all those big chances away. He has the most assists, and we're not top of the table.
Like those things happen sometimes. It happens sometimes like that.
That's what I'm saying. So in those games where we didn't put them away, we might need a different profile of a striker. We cannot just be a team that is just possession based. We might also have to have a striker that can be transitional, so we can switch play in between in-game management. 20 minutes to go, 30 minutes to go, but nothing is happening. Bring in a transitional striker. Let's change play. The other team is taking off guard. We can't wait till they study us and they know us in and out, and then
Sarah, I actually acknowledge what you're saying, and I am still stuck on. I don't think it will suit the way we play, but I could be wrong. I'm not the manager. I'm not saying Arsenal shouldn't buy it. I don't just subscribe to Gyökeres.
I hear you, and I understand. I'm just giving my own.
Your perspective. See, I like this kind of conversation, right? Not someone say, "Oh, you don't like him, you must not know ball." Like we can have different views.
No, I mean, like, of course, you're right. We're not a transition-based team, but I believe that a dynamic team is a team that, because that's what I see football as now. Football is becoming very dynamic. You're seeing massive athletic players doing crazy gymnastics. People like Haaland should not be doing bicycle kick, but they are. Like, football is becoming more and more dynamic. People like Pep changed football. People like Mourinho changed football. They changed the way the game is being played. They changed the kind of players that we're looking at. The days of the Diego Armando Maradonas and the Lionel Messi,
the proper footballers,
the guys who could dribble and everything is coming. Ronaldo was a hybrid of both. You could see that he was big, he built his muscle, he could dribble. That's the hybrid of the footballer that most people want. Now people want the giants with the, just the fundamentals. The rest we can do.
So guys, do us a favor, guys, like the video. We have 7 people here. Please like the video, very important, so we can draw more people in. Please like the video and please subscribe and make sure you go and support. How am I always struggling your channel name again? Please remind me, please.
Banter on the pitch.
Banter on the pitch. Go and support this channel. Very, very important. So let's start from, we're talking about this game. 5-1, very compelling, convincing play yesterday. I like the dynamism we showed, especially in the first half, the control, the movement. It was just everything just seemed very flawless, very easy on the eye, enjoyable. Who stood out for you in yesterday's match?
Oh, wow! The 2 people stood out for me, and they're both defenders. Gabriel Magalhaes. Oh my God!